Ta-da!
Hello Wargamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in lovely Lund, Sweden. For today's episode of the Armory, we will be taking a look at the 6' by 4' Gamemat entitled Forgotten Realm from the fantastically innovative and quality company Gamemat.eu. Now I have other products from the same company that I will be showcasing in a separate video, so please do look for that video shortly. Now, Gamemat.eu is a successful and growing business based out of Prague in the Czech Republic. The company was founded by Matouš Lušek, excuse my horrible Czech pronunciation, and Matouš is now currently the head of operations. Before we take a look at the mat, let's begin with a bit of background on Gamemat.eu. The story of Gamemat.eu began in early 2013 when Matouš began to play Warhammer 40k. And due to his love for this game, he began to kick around the idea of developing and selling game mats for tabletop wargaming. A half year later, in early 2014, Matouš had his company up and running. Now, like most startups, it began as a one-person show, with Matouš doing everything from developing concept ideas and designs, hiring external designers to complete the graphics for the mats, warehouse processing, customer service, and so on and so forth. At this point, Gamemat.eu was really only something of a small side business. In the years since its founding, however, Gamemat.eu has expanded dramatically and now does business with customers from around the world. For example, you may have seen their products featured at media companies such as Mini Wargaming in Welland, Ontario, Canada. In this sense, Matouš has really succeeded in moving forward with his vision to provide the global wargaming community with mats that take next to no time to set up, yet provide a fantastic cinematic playing space for miniature games. In addition, Matouš has expanded his company into the terrain sector, and now Gamemat.eu offers a selection of beautiful pre-painted and assembled terrain that is easy and quick to set up on the wargaming table. The idea here is to continue to develop what Matouš calls combos, that is, combinations of mats and terrain that have been designed to match together. For example, the Highlands at War battle mat is intended to be paired with the Highlands terrain set. Moreover, in addition to product development and sales, Gamemat.eu has in recent years become more involved with planning, running, and sponsoring wargaming events, such as the Prague Open 2017 that ran from April 22nd to the 23rd. The future of Gamemat.eu looks promising. Although approximately half of Matouš's day is dedicated to customer service, order processing, and communication with both customers and partners, half of the day is still reserved for coming up with and developing new ideas and concepts for new products. Already, this view to the horizon has been fruitful, with Gamemat.eu releasing a brand new run of double-sided game mats. The desire for such double-sided game mats has long existed in the wargaming community, and Matouš has listened to his customers. The result is this new, brilliant design. And of course, all of this occurs on the background of Gamemat.eu's incredible commitment to customer service. Now, I for one have been impressed with the professionalism that Matouš has displayed throughout our communication. And as Matouš himself notes, the most important thing that he would like people to know about Gamemat.eu is that his company will go to great lengths to leave the customer satisfied and to do whatever is necessary to make sure that his or her experience with the company is a good one. Well, with that brief introduction, we may now take a look at the product itself. Alright, here is an overview shot of the 6' by 4' mat laid out on the table. We've got some natural light shining in here now to show you what it looks like when most of us play games who don't go down into a dark dungeon studio. You can see the colors are really nice, pretty sharp contrast here. As Matoush has said, this really does give your games a pretty incredible cinematic effect. Let's take a little closer look at some of the detail. To start us off, now let's look at some of the cobblestone work here. There's a lot of different contrasts. You can see many different shades of gray here. I really like the design with the stones on the outside and then the kind of worn cobblestone. Remember, this is the Forgotten Realm, so the cobblestone is supposed to look rather beat up and used. I can put my fingers down here to give you an example of the scale. You see that these are pretty small stones. Some weathering and just really nice design. I like how this flows. You can put your terrain on the road, but you can also use the road as a natural separation point for your terrain. The second detail we can look at now is the grass detail in this mat. I'll put my finger back down again so you can get a sense of the scale. What I really like about this design is that unlike some mats you can find out there, the tufts of grass are not repeating, so there's not a pattern that's been used, but they're actually individual little clumps of grass. You can see here there's some differentiation. For example, this little patch here compared to this patch compared to this patch. And it gets a really nice sense of randomness, which is what you want to have when you're playing. You don't want to see a pattern and feel as if you're playing on a sort of factory produced mat. Really nice here how the dirty parts and some of the roads start to stick out. We move over here into some of the dirty areas, the more worn areas. Just a really nice color schema, mixes together really nicely. Remember, once again though, this is the Forgotten Realm, so it should look a little roughed up and a little tough, a little different than you might have on your, say, your plains mat or a grassy mat. So really nice grass patches here, which really contribute to the sharpness of the overall look of the mat. And the final detail we can point to here is the sort of dirty, cracked earth areas in the center of the road. Lots of shades of brown here, and if you look closely, we even have some reds popping, we have some pinks, some different shades of greens. I mean, there are a lot of different colors at work here. So this is not a simple color schema. There's a lot going on here, which gives a lot of variety, and I really do love the little touches of red, for example, that really kind of draw your eye to it and make it pop. So you can see here kind of cracked earth. The cracks are very distinct and clear, pretty dark up here. All in all, a really nice look for this Forgotten Realm, abandoned city feel. So nicely done here on the dirty, worn, cracked areas. If we take a step back from the design and just talk about the materials, the material discussion with this product, there's some really good things to say about this. Like most mats, it is this neoprene mouse pad stuff. We've got 2 millimeter thick here. This comes out to be about 3.5 kilograms. So it's a pretty heavy duty product. What's great about this is it lays flat. There's no bumping here. There's no ironing required. The rubber on the bottom really prevents it from slipping. It's waterproof. You can spill whatever you want on it. I know my son has been eyeing this out to dry some cars on it, and I'm sure there'll be some spills that happen on this when we play on it. It's great. It'll soften your rolls, allows for easy movement with your troops, with your movement trays. So really fantastic stuff. And durable. I mean, I've had this rolled up, I've had it thrown around, and it keeps its shape. Beautiful product, nice material. I really like this kind of material for battle mats. What's interesting about this one, as you see, it's only one-sided, but as we talked about in our discussion already, Gamemat.eu is now offering double-sided game mats, which is just fantastic, a fantastic idea. So you can get, for example, this mat, the Forgotten Realm, and then on the flip side, you could get the Grassy Highlands mat. So you could have two mats really that you can just flip around nicely, and that won't take away from any of the material strength, the durability, or whatsoever. So really fantastic. I'm glad to see that they are doing double-sided mats, but I'm really impressed with the material itself. So once again, as we mentioned earlier, Mateusz's vision is really to pair these battle mats with terrain sets. And the matching terrain set for the Forgotten Realms battle mat is going to be the Gothic Ruined Set. We picked up some of that. Now we'll have a review on that in a separate video. But I just want to show you how that looks when you pair the two together. Really nice combination. Looks good. I mean, there's a reason why they pair these together and they design them to match with each other. They are meant to go together. The themes are all there and it looks really good. Let me show you just by putting a unit of Empire Cavalry out here to show you the scale of both this piece, but also the scale of the mat and the circle here as well. I like the scale, I like the sizes, I like the way the roads are set out as compared to some battle mats that the roads seem a little artificial. This has a good organic feel to it. And finally, with every battle mat that you purchase from Gamemat.eu, you're also provided with this handy battle bag. And I really appreciate this, not only for storage purposes, but if you're like me and you travel a lot and you play games on the road, this is great to just roll your mat up, throw it inside here, zip it in, and you are ready to go. Straps on the shoulder, and off you go for your battles. Well, there you have it, folks. A brief look at the 6' by 4' G-mat entitled Forgotten Realm from Gamemat.eu. In summary, I can say that I think this is a great company and they have some really nice products. So please do drop Mateusz a line, check out his website. I will include a link below. The website, no surprises here, is www.gamemat.eu. And of course, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.